Well, hello everyone, Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. I am here on Vancouver Island. Yes, it's mid-December in British Columbia, Canada, and look at this weather. This is what the coast is like in the winter here in Canada. I'm here looking for all of Vancouver Island's beautiful rocks. We're talking flower stone, Dallasite, Rhodonite, and fossils. I don't know what all I'm gonna be getting, but I know I'm gonna be getting some great stone. So wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy. Now the first few places that I'm going to be hunting are all beach hunting, and as you can see, it is high tide right now. As the tide goes down, more and more and more beach will be exposed, exposing more and more and more rocks. Now the area I'm in right now is known for its flower stone. So I'll look around here a little bit, but really the hunting's not going to begin until that water goes out some. A little pebble of Dallasite. And within a few seconds, my first little chunk of flower stone. Not a good one though. It's got flowers. We're looking for the good flower stone. Not much I can do while the water's so high, but there is a few rocks around. I'm not sure if the tide is going out yet or if it's still coming in. There's not much beach, but hey, there we go. Our first beautiful flowers. Oh, can't see it that way. And the first beautiful, small, but amazing looking, like really nice Dallasite. Now, I do plan to be hitting beaches all over the island for this trip. This just happened to be a great spot to do my introduction, so I stopped here. But I am very happy with what I'm finding right here. So I will be coming back to this spot and spending some time once this water has gone down. Because within, 30 feet of walking, I've already got 3 flower stones and 2 Dallasites. So this may be a place that hasn't been picked very well in the past. And, hey, I love rocks. There's good rocks here. It's a beautiful spot. Absolutely beautiful. One of the locals just stopped me, called me over, and said, Dan, I watch you on the internet. Come check out my rock collection. I am not going to rate his rock collection. No. He's got some beautiful pieces of Dallasite in here. Amazing. They're so lucky living on the water like this. Beautiful stuff. That there is what we're hoping for. For sure. So nice meeting friendly people. Love meeting the locals while I'm out here doing my thing. Anyhow, as I said, I'm gonna come back here when the water comes down. If I stay here too long, a big wave's gonna get me. So here are some of the rocks I found just in the short time I could walk down there. Oh, we'll find lots more. Let's get them wet and show you. Put some water on them. Show you what they look like. This is Vancouver Island flower stone. It's actually known as a feldspar basalt porphyry. That's its actual name, but it's, known as flower stone because of the flowers you see in it. Some of this stuff is just frickin' amazing. But anyhow, there will be much better once the water goes down. Oh, yes, also got some Dallasite. That's the best one so far. Well, while we wait for the tide to go down, I have come and joined up with my buddy Skippy. Say hi! And we've come up to one of the rivers up inland, and we're gonna look and see if we can find some fossils while we wait for that tide to go down. And the typical way of finding fossils here on Vancouver Island is you find these mud ball concretions and hope you see a little bit of the fossil coming out the edge, but if not, you give them a tap with a hammer, open them up, and see if there's something hidden inside. It's all coming out of this shale here, and the fossils all get locked up in these concretions. So that's our trick now, is to find some concretions. I just cracked this mud ball open. And Skippy, what's inside?
That is an Inocermus clam. And them clams got big. Like, they got 4 feet in like diameter. Them things were huge. So that would have fed like a mosasaur, elasmosaur, or us if we were around 80 million years ago.
Well, there we go. My first fossil happens to be a fossilized clam. But really what we're looking for is the ammonites on here. Ammonites, those coiled up snail shell looking things. That's what we want to find. And Skippy finds a clam too. We see something here in this concretion. It could be the edge of something, but probably not.
No.
Been picking away at this one for a little bit. That's kind of what you're looking for, is a round rock in all that jaggedness. You gotta break it out of there and then split it open, and hopefully you find a dinosaur inside. I joke about that, but actually one time I was here, I did. I found a vertebrae of a, prehistoric lizard. Well, there we are. It's loose. What you really hope for is to see something along the edge that indicates it's got something inside of it, which in this one I don't see anything. So it's just a case of splitting it and finding out. Now this could be something, but that looks more like just a vein or a seam of something going through it, not a fossil. I'll put that with the pile to crack in a second, and we'll see. I see another nodule right there. Let's get that one out too. This one shows the hint of something inside of it, but I'll have to get the expert over here. Skippy can really tell. He'll just look at that and tell me whether that's a fossil or not. Or we'll just pop it open and find out. He's got the hammer. And there's a fossilized clam, not in the concretion. Huh. I thought they always formed in concretions here. It wasn't a clam. It was part of an ammonite. I'm actually quite surprised.
What did you find?
I need you to tell me.
I know.
It might be a clam. It might be an ammonite.
Looks like probably a hedomorph, probably a little piece of a glyptoceros.
Okay.
But it's hurt. That's what I think it is. But or it could be an. I don't know. That's nice. When I say I don't know, if I at first I thought a glyp, because they do get big. But if it's not a glyp and if it is an ammonite, you know when that piece came. Let me see. Here we go. Got me stumped.
I stumped him.
If it was an ammonite, besides a hedomorph is an ammonite, the glyphs. But if it was a normal ammonite, it'd be a rare one because almost like a weird type of Godiceros or something. But it's a nice little chunk. If you could stabilize it, it'd make a nice little necklace. Sometimes you just got to keep breaking through it, and it could be at one corner of it, and there might be a nice fossil.
Doesn't look like it though. Skippy's got the hammer, so I'm gonna see if he will knock this one open for me.
First, you always inspect to see if anything protrudes out, just so you know, but I don't see nothing protruding out yet.
Ooh. And
oh, there you go.
Something.
You got a bit of a
baby ammonite.
Yeah, that's a Horiceros ammonite. There you go, Dan.
I found a baby.
Oh, you got a new baby. Wah, wah.
So this is absolutely tiny for an ammonite around here, but it is one. We won't be skunked today. Skippy says this is a clam. Will you tap it for me?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll show much, maybe just a bit of a pattern, but always start light before you whack the shit out of the shoot out of it. Here we go.
Yep, more clam, just like that first one I found.
There's little ribs on her anyways. Or maybe even that's part of it. No, that's clam, but it almost look part of like ammonite with the
vein,
lines,
the ribs, yeah. There's a socket of a big one. It's actually, no, this is the outer ring. Part of an ammonite.
Yeah, that's part of a big, probably a Boster's hedomorph.
So we've managed to get a little pile of nodules. We're gonna go on a bit of a breaking fest here, and hopefully one of them will show us something. I actually see one in the pile that I'm pretty sure has an ammonite in it.
Okay,
pretty sure.
Let me get down. You might have to help me up again there, Dad, after all my tumbles. Okay, the one he's talking about is this guy.
Yeah, you can see the edge.
Look at the keel on that. Okay, now what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to tap it real light right there. And hope I don't want to. I can't hit it on this side.
Yeah, you don't want to hit on the
keel
fossil itself.
because it's such a. There we go.
Okay.
I'm going to throw some water before we even look at it. We're good. We're ready to go. What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there. It's just the center is still not totally out. So it's definitely a pretty complete ammonite. It's just, I'm not going to break that anymore now because that's going to be too tricky to get this, the center. The little one that Dan found is a lot closer to having the center out than that one. But okay, now let's see what else we have here. Okay, Dan pulled out these two guys. We're going to break these to start with. Oh, I found that too. You guys can guess what that is, eh? A baby woody. That's a little branch or something. So it's something.
Petrified wood.
Petrified woody. 80 million year old woody. Okay.
Old twig or something caused that one. There's just remnants of the wood inside of it.
Okay, now I'm going to check this one out.
There's a perfect clam in that one. Well, that was fun. Found some great little fossils. I got to hang out with Skippy.
Thanks and I got to hang out with Dan. What else could you ask in life, eh? It's been a couple years.
It has.
Too long.
It's been a while.
Way too long.
Skippy is a hoot. So much fun to hang out with. Anyhow, I think I'm gonna go back to looking for flowerstone and Dallasite now. Thanks so much, Skippy.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Rock on, freaky friends.
So I'm back here on the beach. It's actually the next day, the next morning. As you can see, the tide is down a lot more than it was yesterday when I was here. I am just gonna start walking and seeing what I find on this amazing beach. Look at the ferries off in the distance. That's Quadra Island over there. Just a beautiful spot. Waves aren't nearly as bad as they were yesterday. No wind out. It's great. I'm gonna walk that way because if I walk this way, I'm going straight into the sun and it's really hard to see. So I'm gonna walk that way for now. The tide is coming in, so it'll slowly push me up. I'll start down near the edge. And there we go. Beautiful flowerstone. And followed by an amazing Dallasite. One problem with hunting while the tide is on its way up rather than on its way out is that the rocks are all dry here now. And it's a lot harder to see what's a good rock when it's dry versus when it's wet. That's a really good rock. Versus when it's wet. So you got to really train your eyes to see the flowers in the flowerstone dry. I am here all day long today, so this tide will come up to about noon and then it'll start going down after noon. So I'm not sure if I'll be on this beach the whole time, but I will be around for the outwards tide as well so that I can see the wet rocks too. But there we go. We got 4 rocks in no time at all. And this is the most relaxing way of rock pounding. Just gently strolling down the beach, looking at rocks, picking up the pretty ones when you see them, and just walking along, singing a song. Not that I sing. I want to find a flowerstone while the camera's rolling so you can see what it is I see while I'm walking along. I love this pattern of flowerstone. It's got green flowers in it with white specks. It looks like a flower garden. Come get that wet. I'm not that big of a fan of licking the rocks when I'm hunting at the ocean. Salty. It's amazing how often this happens. I see a great flowerstone there. It's beautiful. Right there is another one. And that's good. Why are, thousands and thousands and thousands of rocks without any flowerstone and then 2 of them side by side? Perfect sizes too. I think I'm finding that the best way for me to find Dallasite is looking for flowerstone, because the only Dallasite rocks I stop for are the best ones I see on the beach. That way I don't pick up the crappy ones, I only pick up the best. That's pretty nice. Here's the first one of this style I've found. It's kind of a green color, green and dark matrix. Big, thin flowers. I tend to find a lot more of this up by Campbell River, a little farther north. Don't find too much of it down here. So first time I sit down for a break here, I'm going to explain to you what I'm looking for. Obviously flower stone, but what sizes, why I'm collecting this, what I'm doing with it all. I'll explain it all, but first I want to get, you know, half a bucket full or something. Things like that will fill up the bucket real quick. That is a beauty, right in the water here. Really nice, big, fully formed, high contrast flowers. Now my bucket's getting a little full. That's not very full, but it's getting heavy. It hurts my arm to just sort of hold it, carry it along. So the way I do this is I have a backpack on my back and the bucket. When the bucket starts getting too full, I pop the backpack off, put the rocks in the backpack, and then throw the backpack on my back, which is a lot easier to hold, and then continue on down the beach. And when the backpack starts getting heavy, it's time to turn around and head back, and I still have mostly empty bucket, or an empty bucket, to collect on the way back. I'm at a little hot spot here. I just picked up 4 flower stones in a row, all small ones, and I'm looking for the small ones today for sure. And then, boom. What a beautiful piece of Dallasite. And I thought that last piece of Dallasite was amazing. Oops. Now that's dense with flowers. I want to find a nice big one dense with flowers like that. Well, the bucket's too heavy to lift again, so into the backpack it goes. That's going to make the backpack heavy enough that I will start my way back to the truck. Though, once I get back to the truck, I just empty off at the truck and then go out on another expedition. Time for a little sit down. So you may have heard me say earlier that I'm looking for the little stones, but then you may have also heard me say I might want to find a big, dense stone. Well, that's because of what I am doing with these rocks. Yes, people are always asking me, why do you collect so many? What are you doing? I sell rocks online. I sell lots of British Columbia gemstones and semi-precious stones online. And flower stone and Dallasite are 2 of our big sellers. What I am doing with the flower stone now and why I want small pieces is I'm making tumbling bags, little 1-pound bags full of a variety of flower stone that people can either tumble or they can make jewelry out of. Small things they can cut little pieces out of and make jewelry out of. Now, why I want a big dense one is I can take that big dense one down to Jason, run it through his crusher, and make small rocks of the big dense flower stone. It crushes up really nicely, and it's still perfect for tumbling and perfect for making jewelry out of. So my plan here is to get as many small ones as I can so I can have a bag of a whole bunch of small rocks plus 1 or 2 pieces of the crushed rock in there as well, and making up a pound so people can tumble or make jewelry. And I do the same thing already with Dallasite. I sell lots of Dallasite that way in the tumbling bags, and flower stone is a new one I want to put on the website. I already sell slabs, specimens, and palm stones, stones that you can hold in the palm of your hand, unpolished. Tumbling bags is something new I want to put on the website. That's why I'm here today collecting as much of the Dallasite and flower stone as I can in the smaller pieces. Hopefully that answers your question. I see a piece of flower stone. You know, a 1-pound bag would have probably 2 or 3 of those plus a few smaller ones. And I think during the next sit-down break, I'll talk about the geology that creates flower stone. Yes, that is a heavy backpack. I would not want to put any more into it. I still have an empty bucket to fill. It would take like 10 or 15 that size to make up a pound. That's a great little guy. Beauty Dallasite. Everything's getting a bit heavy. Taking another break here. I said I was going to talk about the geology of flower stone. Now, flower stone is a feldspar basalt porphyry. porphyry. I'll put that here on the screen somewhere. It means that it is a type of magma molten rock that cooled slowly, and as it cooled slowly, crystals of feldspar formed. The feldspar molecules started getting together and growing something like a snowflake in the molten lava. It hardened in those crystals first before the basalt around it hardened. And they're not really snowflakes, they're more like a starburst. And as that starburst wears away or breaks on the surface, it then breaks into these things that look like snowflakes or flowers. It's all a very slow process, cooling slowly way underground. Then geological processes bring it to the surface, it wears out, it falls onto these beaches, it rounds over, it polishes itself up, and makes these things that look like flowers, so we call it flower stone. Its geological mineral name is actually a feldspar basalt porphyry. There we go. There's today's geology lesson of the day. Flower stone. And as I'm giving that geology lesson, oh, look, flower stone. Flower stone. There was a third. Where was that third? I saw a third. Get that down in the gravels. Where was that? Oh, there it is. Just a little guy. Well, there's the first flower stone, too big for me to take. It's not really the pattern of flower stone I want anyways. So I want that, but the dense green stuff. That size and dense green, I would dig it out and take it. Because that's not a very, very good flower stone, we'll pass it up. Now, while I'm taking my second break, because everything is really heavy, let's also talk about the geology of Dallasite. Now, Dallasite is an infill that fills, it's a mineral that fills voids in between the pillows of pillow basalt. So pillow basalt is a basalt that's made underwater as lava bubbles up into the ocean. And as it does, it makes these big round balls. Now these round balls don't sit together perfectly. They have voids in between them. Now over time, those voids start to fill in with minerals. Quartz, carbonates, epidote, those kind of things. And as it does, it spalls off the surface a little bit, meaning that some of those minerals will form on the edge of the pillow basalt and then break off. And as they break off, they crumble and then they get fused back together with the new minerals that are depositing in those voids. That's called breccia. Breccia, or brecciation, where things that break up into small pieces then get glued back together by another mineral. And Dallasite is a breccia that is made of epidote, carbonate, quartz, and there's one more basalt. There's one more thing in there. Right, I had to look it up. Chlorite. It is said Dallasite is only found on Vancouver Island, in the pillow basalts of Vancouver Island, but there is actually some other deposits around, just nothing nearly as good or plentiful as the stuff on Vancouver Island. There's second geology lesson of the day, Dallasite. Maybe I'll do a third. Now here is this morning's hunt. I got a bunch of small ones. That one's probably too big. I'll probably cut that one in half. I got a bunch here that I will either use for making my specimen slabs or possibly just breaking them down to fit into the grab bags. I did get some really nice Dallasite. But I have been here for 3 days hunting already. I have that bag there, this bin, that bin. We have a lot. I've spent 3 days on the island. I've got one more day to spend on the island here, but that tomorrow is going to be up at a gold mine, looking for some gold. But heck, the day is still young. It's not even 11 o'clock. We got lots of time. The problem is the tide's coming up. So I'm going to go and do another really quick hunt, see if I can get a little bit more before the tide's up, go for lunch, and then wait for the tide to start. Come back down again. Now here's the big dense one. That's the kind I want for crushing down. This one will get crushed down. I'll probably make like 20 pieces out of this, like inch and a half, 2-inch pieces. But because the flowers are so dense in it, no matter what you crush, you still have a perfect flower stone, and it will still be very, very usable. So that's the kind of rock there that I want for crushing. Going down to see Jason in 2 days, we'll throw that through his crusher, set to just the right size. And we do have a few of that to crush. These ones that have the bigger flowers but fewer of them don't crush up so well, because when you crush them, you don't always get the flowers completely in the new rock. This one, you always get lots of flowers in the smaller rocks. Here, the break might go right through a flower. You might just have rocks without flowers in it. So those will be the ones that we slab up or make specimens of. Those will be the ones that we crush. So hitting one more beach here before the tide gets all the way up. See if we can find a few more. I think we can. A few more before we move on. Go have lunch and hit. I think we're gonna go past Campbell River and hit up north a bit. Now, I said earlier that I make my money by selling rocks and gems and minerals online. And that's usually where people chime in and say, Dan, you make your money on YouTube ads. And well, yes, I do make money on YouTube ads, but it's not necessarily as much as you would think. I only make maybe a quarter of my yearly income from YouTube and Facebook put together. Most of my income, about 3/4, comes from selling things that I mine or collect like this. Gold is about half of that. Rocks and gems and ocean picture stone and everything is about the other half of that. So really, the YouTube revenue is great. Yes, I make good money on YouTube, but it's only a very small amount of what I make overall. The gently lapping water is so therapeutic. If you even have a slight inkling of wanting to do this kind of stuff, I really recommend finding a beach, an ocean beach somewhere, and walking and just seeing what you find. It is so therapeutically relaxing. I've just turned around and started heading back because I don't want the tide to come in so much I get myself stuck somewhere. Ooh, that's a nice Dallasite. I'll take that one. Oh yeah. There's a flower stone. I'll take that one. That was not a lucrative walk, that one. We'll find somewhere better. So I hit a couple more beaches, but now the tide just is too high. I said I was going to have a third geology lesson. I'm sure a lot of people are asking now, why is Vancouver Island got so many great gemstones? We have these fossils, we have Dallasite, we have flower stone, we have Rhodonite, we have the greatest jaspers around. Why is there so much on Vancouver Island? Well, the lame, Captain Obvious answer is it's its geology. The more specific answer, which is probably what you want, is a little bit more complicated, a lot more complicated. All these stones are being formed or concentrated here on the island because of a few geological processes that are happening here. Vancouver Island is actually a chunk of seafloor that has been pushed up, and that explains all of the fossils, all the aquatic fossils we find here on Vancouver Island. It's because it's that seafloor pushed up into an island. Now, it is plate tectonics and volcanic action that has pushed that seafloor up. And because of the volcanic action, that has created all those Dallasite pockets. Those pillow basalts that have created the Dallasite pockets is all because of the volcanic action that helped push this island up. Now, the plate tectonics, where the plates are moving and there's one that's rising on top of another, which is also helping push the island up, is the reason that the flower stone is here. And all of that geological action of heat and boiling waters and everything going on because of the volcanic action down there is creating things like the jaspers and agates and things like that. The Rhodonite is formed underwater in the volcanic vents, in the vents underwater, prehistoric, long before the island was here, and then pushed up onto the island. So there's a lot of different geological activity here that is forming all these different gemstones and crazy stones on Vancouver Island. There's geology lesson number 3. Now let's get some lunch.
It
put my toque on to go incognito. Too many people were recognizing me out here. I'm in a very public area right now, and after about the 10th person stopped to say hi, I thought, better take that hat off. I'm just in a local park right now, actually. I've been hunting different beaches all over the island all day long. I just came to a really nice place, beautiful spot. It's really well picked over. There's not much here, but I'm here to enjoy the scenery more than anything. What a great day rock hunting. I think what I'm gonna do now is take some of the bigger rocks home, cut them, show you what the inside looks like, show you why I think they are so unbelievably amazing. Let's do that right now. Well, I think we're gonna start with this, a beauty of a rock. Let's get her mounted up and get it cut open. Well, all mounted up in this saw. The other saws are all cutting ocean picture. Oh, that one's being repaired. The rest of them are cutting ocean picture stone at the moment. So I'm limited to one saw for Dallasite. But let's get a few of them cut. It's done. Ooh, let me get that cleaned up into the proper photo booth and show you what that looks like. Oh yeah. And I am going to do a few for you today, so for Dallasite, let's do that one next. And then maybe move on to some flowerstone. And while all the saws are cutting, I'm going to take one of the big flower stones and put on the big saw because it just finished its cut. Oh, I heard a big clunk. I'd say this one's done. Can't open up too quickly, otherwise it gets sprayed with oil. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, baby. Nice. Okay, not showing you any more cutting. Let's just take these things upstairs, clean them up, and show you what they look like. And the first rock of Dallasite. Really nice on the outside. Got a bit of oil on it right now because it's just fresh off the saw. Let's have a look inside. Oh yeah, that is nice. I think we will do all of the Dallasite pieces, then all of the flowerstone. But this is a great piece of Dallasite. Let's see inside. Oh yeah. Love this Dallasite stuff. One of my, go-to rocks. Makes beautiful pendants, beautiful spheres and palm stones. Really easy to work. Usually needs to be stabilized, but that's kind of typical for ocean rocks. And if you're wondering what I mean by stabilizing, when we're doing lapidary work with this, there are little cracks in it. Let's see if I can show some of them. No, they don't really show up in the light right now. But there are some microscopic cracks in it that can fall apart when you're doing lapidary work. So we just use a simple super glue on the stone that gets into the cracks, holds it together, and often makes those cracks almost invisible. This one's a little different. Not much white in it, but real neat pattern inside. Almost looks like dragon skin or something like that. One last one before we move on to the flowerstone. There we are, stereotypical Dallasite. If you want any Dallasite, it's on my website. Actually, I think I'll put all of these pieces that I just showed you in its own special category from today's video, Dallasite and flowerstone. Alrighty then, moving on to the flowerstone. Now I only cut a few of these. I tried to get a good variety of the different styles. So here we go. Let's have a look inside. Oh yeah. And there are lots of different styles of flowerstone out there. So I tried to cut a variety for you so you can see inside. Little flower garden.
This is that big one I was cutting. Really dense with flowers. Really dense. Personally, I like the stuff with the high contrast, so the black basalt with the white flowers really shows up nice. Some people like the green. I personally like the black. I didn't find too many this time around with the really big flowers. Mostly just the small flower stuff. Next trip, I'll focus looking for the big flowers. Really enjoy hunting this stuff. It's really relaxing walking on the beaches, so I don't mind doing it over and over and over again. Hey, how did that get in there? That's not flower stone. Anyhow, I did take a bunch of this flower stone down to Jason's crusher to break up into small pieces for our tumbling bags. I think I got some footage of that. Let's put it in here. Now I'm just showing off other things that are kicking around my photo booth.
Now, one problem with round rocks going through a jaw crusher like this, sometimes the jaws don't grab it and they just spin it straight up. They'll jump straight up and hit the top plate and jump right back down again. Now, one way you can avoid that is putting a whole bunch in at once. But just a little safety thing for us today, we don't want to stand outside of this opening because if it jumps up against the edge, we can pop straight out. So we'll stand off to the side as we toss these. Funny to crush these. When we were doing the jade, oh, that was something else. One of these days I'm gonna lose a camera doing that. Yeah, probably straighten it.
Those look good?
Those are perfect. Love it. Perfect sizes. Some smaller, some bigger. Those are some of the crystal pockets inside. You can see the flowers. The flowers are the green bits, and then there's the white. It's probably like a quartz or calcium or carbonate or something like that. Once that's all tumbled round and polished up, look like a little flower garden in there.
Very cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Flowers.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think a big chunk of rust came out of your machine.
Yeah. Probably got gold in there now.
Yeah. Gold and flower stone. This is perfect. It's got some of the water run surface on it. Seeing lots of the flowers. Some of the jagged, though that will round over when it's polished, when it's tumbled. Those are great pieces. Flower stone. Feldspar basalt for free. Well, I think these 4, and that'll be it. These are small ones, so they're just gonna break right in half, and that'll be it. That's it. Nice. Just half rocks. Awesome for tumbling. There we go. Big sack full of crush and a whole bunch of small stones. If you want flower stone for tumbling, it'll be on my website very shortly. www.danhurdprospecting.com. Nom, 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 nom. 3 days hunting and I may have a forever supply of flower stone. That's my goal, is to get enough in stock that I don't have to go out here and do this to sell. I like going out here and doing this. I will do it again, but it's nice to have enough in stock that I don't have to. And I think 3 days out here did it. And one more time, if you want any of these stones, www.danhurdprospecting.com in the shop. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. If I haven't earned your subscription yet, I hope I earned it today. And a big thanks to everyone for watching, especially my patrons. Until the next one, bye!